God, they let Magnus through again. They're so stubborn. What are they doing? Literally everybody was wrong. I can tell you, I was sitting in that stadium. I was sitting in that stadium. Every single person was saying, what is wrong with them? I was reading Twitter. What is wrong with them? They let the Magnus through.
But that's why they're on Twitter. That's why they're in the stadium, and that's why they're not playing. Brian.
Experts.
Okay,
Experts.
so we talk about the fact that they lost the draft in Game 4, but we have to think about the mind games coming through this entire 4-game series so far, and they got Mag, lost with it, to a Spectre, and then they're like, oh, we'll give LGD Mag this time. We'll pick Spectre. But it was the Undying with the Spectre that was really causing the issues, and it's just not... They lost to the way that they lost, which has to be some sort of mental defeat. I hope whatever I said made more sense than what Jang has been talking about.
Nothing makes sense. We're pretending. This is a facade. Nobody knows what's going on right now. Probably not even LGD or Spirit.
I think they have a little bit of an idea what's going on, right? So they let the Magnus through twice. They lost to it. I think they just didn't expect Spirit to be so strong. Like, they were coming off of their win against Secret, and they were feeling themselves, quite frankly.
Yeah.
They were playing so well. They kept up the tempo. They cast all their spells correctly. They played with confidence. But that Mag loss, that first one, broke them. And then to take it the next game and beat them with it convincingly, I'm worried about Spirit's mental state right now, actually, because this is where the difference in experience comes in between these two teams. Spirit are very young, and they probably didn't expect to make it this far. LGD, they've been training for this for 2 years. So.
Yeah, I mean, they have, so far, there's been 2 TIs before this. This is the 3rd TI that there's a Game 5 in a Grand Finals. And PSG LGD has already experienced this. They were already in a Game 5, Brian. With Ame, actually, as well.
It's a little bit different this time because in the previous one, they were up 2-1 going into Game 4. They were up by 15K, I believe, in Game 4, and OG made this crazy comeback, and instead, they've got all the momentum going in. I feel like they feel strategically superior. They're like, those first 2 games, like, whatever happened, shake it off. They had only lost 2 games throughout the entirety of a TI prior to that series. So this... I think LGD is in a way better spot going into Game 5.
Dude, they looked broken. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I saw the cameras on them, and I was thinking, oh, God, they're done. They looked so broken. They looked sad. Their eyes were watery. And then that happens. I think the Tinker game was like a huge turning point. I think that draft was just a lot easier to execute. It gave them the taste for blood again. And then in the next game, it's just like, they're just back to like prime LGD. It's what they said in an interview. Like, they learned from the losses, and they're grateful to the enemy teams for giving them the opportunity to learn. And that's what I felt after the Tinker game.
Yeah, we heard from Zawade right after the draft, and he was saying that some of the things that he told the team in between games before Game 4 was, don't be afraid. If we lose together, we lose together. And otherwise, we always have next year, Effie.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how you want your coach to be. But I think that right now, LGD are just in a position to take it all. And as amazing as Spirit's run has been, they've got the momentum now on LGD. And just hopefully, regardless of the outcome, both teams should be proud of themselves for what they've done today.
Yeah, we've highlighted Team Spirit a lot because obviously they were on match point for 2 games now. We are going to highlight PSG LGD a little bit more because now they are also on match point, and one of these 2 teams will take home $18 million and the World Championship and the Aegis. A lot on the line for this one game of Dota 2. So far, we only have 5 players in the world that have a 2-time TI championship to their names. If PSG LGD were to win this Game 5, we'll have 7 in total because Faith Beyond and Y were on the winning roster of Wings in TI6. And they will also have a 100% win rate at TI because they have only played that TI6, Brian. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, they're doing the OG, but instead of taking like 6 months off, they take 4 years off and just come back and win another TI. But we talk about the money. I'm a little bit of a math nerd myself. We're looking at $13 million between the 2 teams, between first and second.
Yes.
If it's like an average 40-minute game, that's about 300K a minute that they're playing the game of Dota. If you average 10 CS a minute, that seems pretty reasonable. That means every time you hit a creep, that's $30,000 if you win this game.
That's such a carry. That is such a carry way of breaking it down. Okay,
Just
let me tell you
imagine
from the
that.
offline
30K.
perspective.
30K.
For every death, it's $300,000 for every death you feed. There's the offlane perspective.
It's more like $1 million. You're not
Okay,
gonna.
sorry.
Actually, for you, you'd probably die that many times. Never mind.
He's right.
No, there is a lot of pressure indeed with the money on the line, with the prestige on the line as well, and on the flip side of perhaps having a two-time champ, Nothing to Say has not been at a single TI yet. This is his first one, and he has a potential to become the next Royal Roader. The last Royal Roader we had was Thompson at TI8. Before that, it was GH, TI7, and before that, it was the full Wings lineup. It is pretty crazy because all those names we hear time and time again, we talk about Tops and GH. They're some of the best players in their roles, still are, and it just gives me a lot of giddiness for the season and the seasons to come, Effie.
And just speaking of Nothing to Say, he rose to prominence and kind of made himself known through Tinker. He was just a pub star who spammed Tinker, much to everyone's annoyance. And the hero that kept them in the TI Grand Finals was Tinker.
Turning point. Yep.
It's just everything goes back full circle. Every TI has some kind of magical story. And it's just incredible that we can see this level of Dota come out consistently from new players every year, it feels like.
It's very reminiscent of Thompson, like Pugno.
I got a
breaking
thought.
it out in the last series.
All right.
Oh no.
I believe that if you can turn around a best of 5 like this, if you do this when every CS is worth 30,000 goddamn dollars, then you should receive an honorary PhD in psychology from like Harvard or wherever.
I don't know if it works that way, but I
should.
will tell you that in TI Grand Finals history, it's never happened that someone did a reverse sweep. This year alone, we did see the reverse sweep with EG versus IG in the Grand Finals of the Singapore Major. Of course, it all started with that question mark.
They should get master's degrees. This is PhD.
I mean, it is being able to recover from that level of pressure and stress that is on that final game. But I also think that it is, with a Game 5, Effie, it's very simple for Team Spirit to also probably reset because they have also been in this situation.
I think every team is able to reset in a way, but we don't actually know what goes on behind the scenes in their little powwow, I guess, after the game goes on. But what we know right now is PSG, LGD beat them when they were playing their hero and then took their hero and beat them with it. And now they've got the 2-game win momentum. And they also have first choice, right, for the next game. So it's looking a lot harder for Spirit than it is for PSG, LGD this game.
It is. It is looking pretty rough for Team Spirit as well, but they also know they've got a full region behind them. They are the first Eastern European team to be standing on these Grand Finals since 2013. It's been a long time coming. That being said, PSG LGD, of course, also having a lot of pressure because it has been quite a while since a Chinese team lifted that Aegis, and they know what it would mean to not just their organization and their team, but to the entire country if they were to indeed lift that Aegis. We'll see who gets to do it, though. We'll see who will take home that Aegis. It is going to be either Team Spirit or PSG LGD. It is one game of Dota 2. And I think it's going to be very important for both these teams to strip away these Grand Finals, to just relax. We see a lot of players, by the way, always take off their shoes. You know, they gotta recreate how they feel when they play at home. In the past, we have had Ice taking off his pants because he preferred to play in his boxers, and that's allowed because you just gotta make yourself comfortable. It is very important. Also, interesting fun fact for you all at home. I know you see sometimes players play with these heat packs. They've got these little heat packs to make their fingers warm. It is not actually cold in these booths. It's not cold. The reason they use these heat packs is because adrenaline makes your blood vessels tighter because, you know, you gotta pump that blood real fast. But your extremities, your fingers, you need those to play the game. It's a sport with your hands, so you gotta have those heat packs to make your blood vessels wide again. Did you know that, Jenkins?
No, I had absolutely a very bad knowledge of anything medical. Which is why I was saying they should receive PhDs in medicine.
Those aren't
She's
even
the one.
medical. PhDs are not medical.
Well, whatever. I think they should get a PhD in whatever the hell they want if they're going to reverse sweep a TI. But also, I feel like Team Spirit had all the odds stacked against them just a few games ago, and
Right.
they're in the same position. So what the hell do we know?
They've been in several game threes, and we've watched them improve throughout the entire season. You've had the one team that's just consistently at the top, and the other one that's been rising from 4th place in season 1 of DPC, where they didn't even qualify for the major, and it's all here.
Qualifier team, bro.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, PSJ, because even if you look at their DPC performance, they've just been slowly getting better. They've just been this team lurking in the shadows. Throughout the Animator, they impressed. They beat Liquid in their tiebreakers, right? They did so well in groups, better than anyone else expected. And in the DPC Season 2, they almost beat VP. It was such a close game. And when we come here, everyone's whispering about how Spirit have been so strong in scrims, but people kind of just let this team grow into something big without us even knowing. It's just been awesome to watch.
An actual dark horse, not just a team where you don't want to feel bad by being like they're going to get eliminated. They're an actual dark horse
We
team.
can call them a dark dragon because they do have the dragon logo that is like black and white, so they're actually like dark dragon, right?
They've earned it at this point.
They
can be a
really
dragon.
did. Also, want to remind people of the words that Collapse had said right before their tournament. He was prompted with the question upper bracket, lower bracket, and he, without hesitation, said lower bracket. So he likes to be with the back against the wall, Brian. It makes him perform better.
Just give him a new hero. You know, give a new hero to Yatoro. I give Collapse, the Mag, the Tide. I don't care what's happened up until this point. Pull out your TI8 OG. Pick exactly what your players want to play. I don't think strategy is going to matter nearly as much as we maybe give it credit for when this much is on the line.
Agreed. Pick your best heroes, and that's how they beat Secret today. They just pulled up. The draft was looking grim until they pulled up that last pick Storm for Toronto Tokyo, and they absolutely destroyed with it. So just go for comfort, play like you're at home, and see what happens. See what happens.
So you want silent and Silent to just go in those booths, guys. Game 5 of this TI10 Grand Finals. Everything's on the line. What do you want to play? Is it that simple?
Maybe.
It could be that simple. We are going to find out what is going to happen in this 5th and deciding and final game of TI10. Let's go.
Grand Finals, Game 5.
Hello everyone, welcome to the final draft panel of TI10 because this is Game 5. One game to decide the entire tournament between these two teams.
This is literally the best game Dota has to offer.
It is. This is the best moment of the tournament. What do you guys hope to see from both teams coming in?
You wanna go? I mean, first and foremost, the best game of Dota possible, I think. That is what I want to see. I want to see both teams getting their comfort zone. I want to see both teams getting solid drafts and being able to fight full force and, you know, show
They did ban Tiny. Sorry. They did not ban Tiny.
Yeah, oh wow. They actually decide, okay, but Mag is also in. So this is something that we know that LGD, they chose first pick.
Yeah.
And most likely they were trying to force this Mag for nothing trade, or they believe that these guys were not going to counter the Mag correctly. But now Team Spirit is changing it up one more time, which is really going to be awesome. But yeah, back to what I was going to say, because this is back against the wall for both teams. This is like the most pressure these people have probably ever been under in their whole lives, or for Ahmed, like he's been so close twice now. I hope to see both teams just fully let go of everything that holds them back, become a team, become the best humans you can, become like the best teammates that you can become, and play the best you can. This is your day. This is your moment. This is for you to show the world what you can do in Dota.
and it's amazing to witness. And I think we're going to get it because this opener from both teams, it shows us a lot of confidence. So I feel like the teams, they found their momentum again, they found their form, and they found their confidence. And that's what matters at this point. And there's a lot to say, actually, about what's going on. So LGD had the choice, and they They took the mag and they showed how they can make it work and they can also counter it. This would show us game 3. Team Spirit in game 4, they showed that, in my opinion, they showed LGD they did not have the best understanding and they're going for it, yeah, here. And I want to say how, like, in this game, LGD, they get their best strategy. Tiny is their best strategy. As we said before, they brought this Tiny to the meta. They were the team making it happen. They were the team abusing the Tiny with the Lycan. They know this better than anybody else. They have played the Tiny Lycan versus Secrets the other day and against the Secret Mag, and they made it work. Today, Team Spirit, they played versus the Secret Tiny with the Mag, and they won.
Yeah.
But is LGD better at executing it than Secret? Maybe they are. You can only assume. This game will tell.
Yes. We learned firsthand about the LGD Lycan Tiny very early on before we got to TI. And this strategy, when you see it for the first time, you're like, oh boy, this reminds you of some of the other broken strats that you see come up around TI. And I mean, it's nice. It's amazing that we get this in the game 5 and that somebody is manning up to LGD saying, we're giving you your best strat.
Yeah.
We're going to beat you. And
this is the team that theory crafted it. They are the inventors of Tiny and Tiny Lycan. It's scary to go up against it, and I like the Team Spirit confidence. They're getting their Collapse Magnus. One thing that has to be said is Rubik is getting banned. This is going to be Collapse Magnus at its prime. Or it should be, right? Because so far, LGD, they have countered it with the Rubik. They understand how to break this cure action. Are they going to get the tools that they need in order to break this cure? We're yet to see. I think that's one of the kind of storyline of this draft. Miposhka Bane has been incredibly good. We saw also Bane dominate the game 4 for LGD. Bane versus Tiny, extremely interesting matchup. Why is that? Because Enfeeble actually reduces attack damage for 60%. It's really big. Tiny plays on the space damage. Actually, a Tiny that goes on somebody while being Enfeebled does ridiculously low damage, actually. It does counter him. It's a hero that's very undervalued, in my opinion, against Tiny. Of course, Bane into Lycan, it can be a little bit scary, but yet again, this strategy, this Tiny strategy, is all about getting this Tiny to kind of a critical mass that nothing can deal with.
I do think that you'll eventually get some plays, or if we're going to see it, and we're going to see it executed really well, you're also going to see the Lycan vision being used, and Lycan versus Bane, Lycan versus Mag, it's a lot about the vision. Ideally, LGD, they get to start the fight, either through the Tiny Shadow Blade or Bling, or something else, Tinker fits well in these kind of drafts, because you have the Lycan to enable you, and if you have a good lane, you can also have a stable game, and now your scaling is unreal. This is something that I think Team Spirit should keep in mind. They should keep in mind these Tinkers, they should keep in mind their best heroes, and also, for them, what are we going to do against this Tiny now? Are we trying to push him out of his comfort zone, play on early timings before he gets bitten and 20-minute shard and all those things? Or are we actually going to try to pick this Naix, Ursa? I saw Ursa ban. Are they going to pick a hero like Faceless Void with the Mag to try and take these fights later on against this monster?
Which style do you think is a better counter to the Tiny Lycan? Because this combos ran rampant during TI.
I'm in the Tiny boat. I am very much in the Tiny boat.
It's too much.
No,
this is an Angel Arena hero. Yeah. This is not a Dota hero.
You have to beat it before it hits its timings. Nothing beats it. At least that's our read. Is you will not scale into this. It's not gonna happen. Especially against LGD, they understand the timings. They're gonna push it at the perfect time. They will not lose. They're not gonna waste a single second in this game. As soon as they have the upper hand, they will push it. They will end the game. You have to beat it before, and you can. This Tiny doesn't. He actually mechanically cannot play quicker than the 20 minutes. It's just a Dota mechanic. He cannot buy the shard before minute 20.
I would argue there's a Shadow Blade timing that changes a little bit because he actually can defend this tower, surprise you, get solo kills. But other than that, you still want to abuse him because with this naked Shadow Blade or with something else like that, one slow, one spell, you're at risk of dying and getting dragged into a bad fight. Okay.
They're just going for it. They're picking all 3 of the cores in a row.
I'm not so sure it's a core. I mean, it might be. It might very well be.
You think it's a support Kunkka, maybe?
I'm not sure. I think it's very scary to pick the Kunkka like that. They maybe have a read where...
I think it's a stabilizing thing for them. I think they're actually so confident that this hero is not losing mid and is going to stabilize the mid game and the early game through his both fights. That would be my read on it.
I mean, I see it. It is indeed probably the best hero to stabilize the game for the Tiny Lycan because the holes of Tiny Lycan is it's the first pick Tiny, it's the first phase Lycan. These heroes are gonna be, they should be punished on lanes. They should be punished in the game. You're just announcing, hey, this is a Tiny Lycan game. So of course, the Team Spirit is gonna try to abuse that. So these heroes are gonna have to, somebody's gonna have to make space for them. You wanna consider that they're not gonna have the perfect Tiny Lycan game or the opposing team kinda messed up the draft. So Kunkka is here to help them stabilize. Kunkka is a great laner. The bolt is good in every game in the early fights and whatnot. So this could explain why they feel like we need to get our hands on this Kunkka, especially because the hero that they might pick later is going to get counterpicked anyway.
Didn't they only pick Yatoro's hero in the last 2 games that they lost early? Now they're again going back to picking his very late?
Yeah, and it makes sense with what a hero pool he's displayed on the main stage.
I'm just wondering what he's going to be playing now with all these bans that are coming out for him. Like the heroes that I think, if they ban the Faceless Void now, I wonder what he's going to look at with this mag versus this Tiny.
So with these 8 heroes picked, which side do you favor going into these final picks?
I'm on the Tiny boat.
Yeah.
Just a tiny boat?
Tiny Lycan boat.
If you want to break this Tiny, you have to abuse the fact that he comes online late. I mean, everything is relative, but he comes online post minute 20. Yeah. Same for the Lycan. He should have a bad lane. He's buying Ags, so all the gold that he builds towards these Ags is useless. Lycan with 3k gold or just with the blade and the staff of with it, like it does nothing. When the Axe comes and the Shard comes, this is when the power spike is crazy. But before that, these are 2 heroes that are actually really bad at fighting. They're really bad at at stunning, at catching. They don't do much. So, and I think you have to use that opening. But so far, I think the Spirit heroes, I don't know if they truly do that.
And if you think about it from that perspective, I feel like Conquerable and Skywrath, you're trying to run at them, hit that strong timing, but they have the potential to burst anyone. And you have some Bane saves, some Winter Wyvern save, but it might not be enough for Skywrath.
And I also think the Skywrath was a preemptive pick for Toronto to Tokyo. If he wasn't going to play Invoker, which was not banned, then the Skywrath Silence is always good against the Spirits. And I think they picked this knowing what's coming, knowing what this Dota game is already kind of shaping out to be. So I think it was also a good pick to, now you see this Ember, you see this Vyron, and you actually see the Skywrath value that's going to happen in these early fights. Could happen.
To me, I feel like there's a hole though in LGD's draft in the sense that you pick Lycan into Mag Wyvern, and you pick Tiny into Mag Wyvern, and Mag Wyvern, they have really good plays against that. And when they played against Secrets, they did play the same lineup. They played Tiny Lycan into Mag Wyvern, and they had a Puck and a Phoenix, which are heroes that excel at messing with the backline. They stop the Bane and the Wyvern and the Mag from pressing their spell how they want to. I see a hole in the sense that Kunkka and Skywrath, they don't do that. This Wyvern is going to have free fights. Same for the Mag, same for the Bane, and that worries me a lot. For LGD, I think the fights are going to be much harder. And we saw Secret today, and I think the whole in their draft was they had a Shadow Demon and the Lina with the Mag, with the Tiny and the Lycan. And these heroes don't really complement. They don't counter what counters the Tiny Lycan.
Yeah.
Something I want to mention actually is that they picked Meg and they banned Rubica to protect it. I think this Kunkka pick actually came because X has a similar function. Like if Magnus gets a skewer and you X and redirect him, or you X your ally, you can stop that skewer play from coming in.
That's quite interesting. Yeah, you can actually X the Tiny. Yep.
We also see Enchantress coming in. I think this hero, they have this slow lineup, but something you can do is you can play really aggressive early with Enchantress. There's double range supports and a Magnus. This hero can actually snowball this game.
Yeah,
it definitely can.
I like these types of Dota drafts. I really like these drafts that are a bit lackluster too. Like I'm a big fan of Skywrath, especially back in the day. But there's a big hole, which is your AoE, your team fight, your ability to fight into them. Oh, TB, the draft, okay. But still, they're banking everything on this Christmas tree wolf that's going to happen at some point, and it breaks the whole game, And this is also the end. It's just here to help that happen, to make that happen.
It really seems like LGD doubled down on we are going to secure the strongest 20-minute timing.
Yes.
And Team Spirit, I actually think that LGD is on a timer. If they cannot enforce this 20-minute timing and snowball the game, this is when the Wyvern, the TB, the Magnuses, they will scale greatly. So it's going to be down to can LGD execute their best strategy.
Yeah.
That's an exciting matchup for Game 5 of the finals because LGD, you look at them throughout the tournament, they've always been hitting their timings. You look at Spirit, they've been breaking teams at what they do best. And now we have the Game 5 where they're matching up here.
I want to see Yules. I want to see a way to stop the skewer. Collapse has proven you cannot play against his Magnus if you don't have ways to deal with the skewer. LGD, they don't really have that. I feel like both teams got very powerful tools. It's going to be scary.
You think you're going to see the X mark? I can see it.
It's harder than the Rubik one.
I
It's
think
like
it's
half time,
harder,
but
harder.
I think it might happen. Even if you have to go high ground, you X the Tiny, you hit the tower.
But then you have to create the situation where the Tiny is
You do have to
getting
hit the
something
timing
done.
first. You do
In the
have to hit
mid
the
game
timing
and stuff,
first.
it's not the same. It's exciting. Both teams have great tools to take it home.
Last time Miposhka played Vyron, he owned the game.
Yeah. It's going to be crazy. I mean, that's what we wish for. It's like, can both teams get a solid draft? Can they get their comfort? They did. We're in for a treat.
So who do you guys think the most important hero on LGD is for them to hit their timing? Like, whose early game matters the most?
Obviously the Kunkka, and I would also say the supports will have a huge part to play. The Lycan, the Tiny, they still have roles to play in the early game. Everybody does, and if you can help negate pressure, if you can get that random support kill if they're doing something illegal in your jungle, or kill the wave with your hero, then sure. But if Kunkka is owning and if Skywrath is having a good game, they can make so much happen together.
And for the Team Spirit side, do you think there's anyone who can sort of stop that onslaught early?
They're going to look at the Ember. Ember. Everybody's looking at Ember for this match. Yeah.
It has to be the Ember.
And now we're going to the final game of TI10. But before we go into game, we'll be coming to Sumi with Team Spirit's coach, Silent.
Thank you very much, AUI. Silent, this is the final game of the tournament. There is nothing more after this. Grand Finals, the score is 2-2. No need to hide strategies now. What is your team's strategy to win?
Luck. Our best strategy is just luck.
Your strategy is just luck.
Our best strategy.
Their best strategy is luck, and luck is how they are going to win. Do you have any final comments before this game starts? He does not have any comments. All right, let's throw it over to Insania and Odie Pixel.
Thank you very much, Sumi. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the deciding Game 5 here at the TI10 Grand Finals. Team Spirit against PSG LGD. I'm Odie Pixel, joined, of course, once again by the fabulous Insania. What have we got in front of us here? What have we got in store for us this game, Aiden?
Man, what a crazy game. I think the last game was very, very much in LGD's favor straight from the draft. I think this is really even, and I completely agree with what Seb had to say, where I think both teams have different things going for themselves. I think if this game does scale up, if it goes very slowly, if the 20-minute timing from the Tiny isn't abused, then LGD's draft is going to just lack in power as the game scales up. I'm a little bit worried about how much the impact the Sky, Kunkka, Enchantress combo can have together around the map, and how well Team Spirit will be able to shut it down. I think runes, just like Silent said, luck, you know? And I don't think he was joking. Luck really does matter. If they get those power runes, it's going to be huge for them.
I mean, we saw as well from Spirit the sort of the very carefree attitude it worked out at the start of this series. I've been asked before the first game, you know, how the preparation was. Silent said, well, we didn't get to do much at all. We're just turning up to play and have a bit of fun. That fun certainly looked to be effective in Game 1 and Game 2, but Game 3 and Game 4, as we've just seen, PSG LGD, they have stepped it up. They've hit back hard, and now is the time to see if they can continue on the road to the reverse sweep, or Team Spirit can find that magic that was getting them through the first 2 games of the series.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is going to be a battle of the mid laners come after laning phase. I think the laning phase is probably going to be fairly even. Both heroes will farm fairly well, but that 6-minute rune, Owen, I think whoever gets that 6-minute rune actually has a massive edge in this game, because they're going to get to decide what happens, and the other team has to respond.
Absolutely. We've seen the importance of those timings, those power runes already many times in the series, many times in the tournament itself. Both teams will fully be aware of this, and we'll see a lot of focus around that first spawn. Looking at the side lanes here, getting into the action. Who's having the rough time here in the early game?
I actually think most lanes are just going to be fairly farmy. The top side of the map, I think, is probably where you're going to see the most kind of action. There's a little bit of threat from the Tiny Edge to potentially make some sort of kill move, but I really think it's right now, you know, you want to get as much farm as you can out of the lanes before the sports have to rotate out. So I expect all 6 cores of this game to have a fairly decent start.
All right, well, we'll see if there's going to be any slip-ups in the laning stage.
Yeah, it's very even so far.
Mid lane. 11 for 1 against the 8 for 0. Of course, Toronto Tokyo taking quite the hit from the Tidebringers. And nothing to say. Bottom lane, Jinkyu. He's a little low here, but into the trees he goes. A TP away just in time before Yatoro is able to hunt him down.
Yep, so the Metamorphosis has been popped, but they have link control up top. And the advantage of having link control is the TB can't really run you down with his ranged attack the way he wants to. So not the ideal position for this meta to be used. If you're able to use it right outside of your own tier 1 tower, you can kind of zone out any other hero to come into the lane, but Faithbeyond's doing just fine during this meta.
Poshka trying his best to get Jinkyu away from his Terrorblade, keep that area safe for Yatoro.
Yeah, nothing to say is doing very well mid. I'm a little bit surprised at this. He's almost a full creep wave ahead.
See the courier taken out up top. Mirror continuing to trade as best they can here with White.
Yeah, doing a good job, making sure this top hard camp is blocked. Oh,
well, they're going to try to move up. I mean, Collapse has hit the level 3. See if he's got enough lockdown and damage to take this kill, and yes, he does. At the same time in the mid lane, Toronto Tokyo very low there, has to get out of the range of a potential Tidebringer. He will, but there we have it. First blood up top. A good quick read from Spirit there as soon as they knew that they had the setup and the level 3 on Magnus.
Yeah, this mid lane is going excellently for nothing to say. Toronto Tokyo here has a hard choice of do I go for the bounty rune or do I stay in the lane and try to farm? Ooh, nice sleight of fist. Apologies out to Torrent. But yeah, overall, I think very stable lanes all around. TB Lycan about even. Mid lane is really the only outstanding lane so far to me.
Sure, and we know how scary Nothing to Say can get when he has a start like this. The setups that he'll be able to offer to the team, they're going to be huge, and a fair bit of damage to follow up each and every time that Nothing to Say gets a catch.
Yeah, and LGD really on top of refilling the bottle, right? You see Toronto Tokyo's not quite getting the same support mid, and that's because their heroes are forced to stay in their lanes right now. They can't really move their pieces on the map. And already winning the lane, getting that free bottle refill, he's going to be able to steal the small camp away from Ember. This is huge. Nothing to Say is off to a great start in this Game 5 of the Grand Final.
And it's very hard for Toronto Tokyo to do too much about it. Of course, Kunkka early on. So HP, he's not going to be too scared of being burnt down by the Ember at the early levels.
Yeah, and up top you see, like, this is generally how the early game is developing in this Grand Final, where the Tiny gets the 1v1 lane against the Mag because there's no real kill threat. Neither side can really pressure each other too much, and the two supports are kind of battling it out in the jungle. But here we go, Collapse is really far up into the lane. This could be a lot of pressure.
See Mirror. Back at his side though, in case Arme on White.
Yep.
Find the connection.
I feel like the one small edge PSG LGD has had in this Grand Final is they're able to keep their safe lane really close to their tower constantly. They're not losing lane control on their safe lane. And it's allowing for them to have very good creep equilibrium, and that then in return makes Collapse forced to play much safer.
Oh, see Mirror. Not quite able to close the gap on the courier. Has left Collapse
though.
rather on his own. Nice little circle around the tree line. Will keep Collapse away from the two of them.
He's actually a player that very often manages to get these jukes where he kind of takes a route that people don't expect him to and gets out of these tricky situations. Wonder if he can get out now though. Wise on top of him. He has a slow.
There's a fair bit of damage. Does still have the skewer for a follow-up impetus, or the combo of Arme can close in on him.
Yep. Faith Beyond getting initiated on bottom. Flies used, meta's used, but immediate TP out. Again, great presence of mind. You can tell why these players are in the Grand Finals. They're not giving anything away for free. It's not like neither team's attempting to make moves. It's just both teams are really on top of it. As mid.
See the setup here with the combo. Nice dodge. Flies off to the side here, Toronto Tokyo. In fact, over in the triangle, they are able to catch out. Or in fact, well, White did deny the bounty ring, but it will cost him his life coming over for that one there, as Team Spirit were prepared for that move.
Yeah, and Toronto Tokyo picks up the illusion rune there. So a little bit of miscoordination there. I think if you time that Ancient Seal a bit better, generally speaking, you know, you're going to use an X into Torrent. If you get the silence after the Torrent goes off, then the potential to get the boat in is there. And I think if they did the combo that way, they might have gotten the kill. But of course, the fear of Ember potentially dodging the Torrent with a slight forced them to use it too early.
Yeah, now they've sort of shown their hand mid. It's going to be hard for them to make that play again. Top lane. The Nightmare set up onto Arme. Collapse. It's got enough damage. Doesn't look like quite. The Shockwave will miss. Still trying to chase down Arme, but with Shockwave and Skewer already expended, there's no further threat here against the Tiny. Arme is going to be fine.
That's good pressure though. They force them off of the lane. They finally have managed to get lane control up top, and immediately when they get it, they have the opportunity to pressure the Tiny. So force them off the wave, force them to go into the jungle, and he doesn't have any sustain, right? So he's going to have to spend gold on getting to extra region.
They're going for him early on here with the three of them surrounding the Terrorblade. Yatoro, he's trapped in the trees. The moves from the supports of PSG LGD start to come in. See the counterplay attempted. Set up with the Nightmare, but a TP's already coming over for Nothing to Say. He'll be ready to fight if Team Spirit push any further, and they won't. They'll respect the potential of a backup coming in for Arme. They step away to not be caught out by the combo of the Kunkka.
Yep, Battle of the Power Rune now resumes. It's about 30 seconds left, so both teams probably talking about which supports can we bring to the runes, who can be there in time to help out. One haste, one DD, it can change the flow of the game entirely.
Toronto Tokyo also just sort of cutting the wave, maybe getting the momentum of the mid lane in such a state that he'll have that ability to check the rune, but yeah, PSG LGD just fully on it.
DD. It's a big rune. This allows you now to have the damage to potentially burst a hero that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. And bottom lane, Faith Beyond's really trying to pressure this tower. And now that he's forced out the Arctic Burn from Mimposhka, Mimposhka has to play very safe. He can't really sit there and be as annoying anymore and just continuously nuke the creeps. So expect this bottom tower to start falling. Meanwhile, top, Is doing a great job of just defending.
He is. He's clearing out the wave, holding off the pressure. Something that Team Spirit can't quite do themselves here down bottom. Faith Beyond.
So here, it's an important smoke here that LGD are doing. They recognize that is going to sit at the tower. The Radiant team can't really defend their own bottom tower. So what are they going to do? They're going to mirror your play. They're going to go and attempt to take top lane tier 1 tower. So the smoke up here, it's a preemptive move in case Team Spirit tries to do something. But Spirit reads it perfectly. They are aware.
And making sure not to get caught out by these early moves as PSG LGD do start to slowly ramp up an early gold advantage. Now hitting the 1k lead, they'll be able to catch themselves. A lonely Bane in the river, Mira.
Yeah, and Yatoro actually gives his position away. He used the reflection there, so now they know the Terrorblade's in the triangle. And you can look bottom, Faith Beyond has absolutely no fear. There's no hero that could gank him in any shape, way, or form. So he's off to a really, really good start. And when we talked about this draft coming into it, it's all about timings, right? So you want, ideally, for him to finish up his Helm of the Overlord and the Aghanim Scepter before 20 minutes. And if the game continues the way it is right now, it's highly likely to happen.
I'm in Spirit. I do want to try and put the pressure up top. Try and push Arme out of this top area of the map. See in the mid lane. Trying for the catch, but again, Toronto Tokyo fully prepared.
Yeah,
it's well out of the way.
Spirit are aware that the boat was used, and that means the top tower is very unlikely to be defended.
It's hard for them to get on top of Arme. Again, playing smart with the Avalanche, putting a stop to the combo, and now time's been bought for PSG LGD to come around. Yatoro immediately out with the TP. Doesn't want to be around here anymore. Mira will get found in the trees, though. Another death here on the Bane as PSG LGD continue to fight back against Spirit's attempts to get something done whilst the pushes are coming in elsewhere from PSG LGD there. Definitely getting a little bit more done in this first 10 minutes.
Yep, they absolutely are. And Purge Creep here on the Lycan. This allows you to take away the level 4 Flame Guard from the Ember, which is his major fighting tool right now in the early game. So that gets purged, immediately has to back off. This tower's gone.
And look at this timing, yeah, 10 minutes, a second tier 1 tower. They're playing it fast, PSG LGD.
Yeah, LGD have the entire map to play with right now. They're controlling the entire... It's basically wherever they want to go, whoever they want to kill is an option for them. And Team Spirit, they just have to try to play this map split game where they're dragging the PSG LGD heroes around and trying to get Yatoro to farm safely behind everybody else.
We're not going to see with the space that Collapse has got. He's going to have a good timing here on the Blink Dagger. I mean, how proactive do you expect to see them be here with this Blink pickup? Is it an immediate smoke and an attempt for a kill?
I think very likely they're going to try to make some counter move where they try to set up a play where they expect LGD to do something and they know where their heroes are going to be, and then they're set up ready to take that fight. I don't really expect them to make some aggressive smoke, most likely around some enemy tower or in order to defend one of their own.
See just this constant micro here.
Oh my god, Faith Beyond's being so annoying. Toronto Tokyo's trying to farm jungle with his Flame Guard, but he's just purging it off.
Yep.
Every single time.
And he's taking all the camps himself, Faith Beyond here with the Wolves.
Yeah, and it's a tough position to be in if you're Team Spirit. You've really drafted this very late game heavy draft. You know it's going to take a long time for you to come online. I think if you see a team like OG play December Spirit, he probably would have gone for more of a slight chain build and try to make moves, try to set up tempo, and try to break up the pace of the game. But Toronto Tokyo opted to go for the more farm heavy route. So their draft is going to come online much later than PSG LGD's, and that's why they're allowed to dominate the early game the way they have been.
Nothing to say. He wants to set up in the mid. Arcane Rune in the bottle. Full armlet on top of the phase. Very tanky Kunkka this early on, and a lot of damage to dish out.
Yep. And if we take a look at the vision game, which we've been talking about so much during this series, because it's just so important, you notice you have the scouting wolves from Faith Beyond. So there's extra 2 wards, basically, that are running around the map and providing vision for LGD. And then on top of that, the Team Spirit wards are so defensively placed. They're right outside of their own towers, protecting their triangle and protecting their tier 2 bottom tower. So it's not really giving them any information about what's going on in the game. They don't really see any heroes on these wards. Whilst LGD feel very comfortable moving around the map. So vision superiority definitely in favor of LGD. They understand what's going on in the game right now much better than Team Spirit does. Team Spirit's playing exclusively off of game sense.
You can see the confidence from PSG LGD because of that vision control. Smoke ups, they swing through the triangle here of Team Spirit. See if Spirit gets caught out on the top. They don't. Yatoro
Man,
Knows
he
to back
always
off.
sniffs it out. Yatoro's so good at sniffing it out, I feel like.
Yeah, and he's made the call for Collapse to back off as well. They're both out of here.
Yeah, and this is purely a game sense read. This is him looking at the minimap, understanding what LGD is doing, and responding to it perfectly. There was no information of that play coming. Wonderfully done. There's a little bit of a play attempt set up in the bottom lane. But they just don't have the damage.
It's hard just with the two of them. Not a job for the supports alone.
But look at Yatoro. He's making his way over.
Maybe indeed with the Terrorblade and the Metamorphosis they could get the damage done if they get a grip onto Arme. He is tanky though, 2.4, 2400 HP. He's got the Echo Saber, the Treads. See if they can do it. Nightmare setup, instantly TPs are coming in. See if they can do the damage quick enough. Yatoro focusing down with the Metamorphosis and the Illusions. They'll be able to take it. They kill off Arme. Mystic Flare's coming in, but Yatoro is able to sidestep it. PSG LGD, can they get a grab in return? Nothing to say. Trying to charge in. See Mirror head into the trees, trying to distract them from the rest of them, but here comes the Micro from White.
Nice.
He's able to lock down Maposhka here with a setup from the Centaur, drag back into the combo. He'll try his best to break the combo. Nothing to say here with the curse thrown out Maposhka, but he will still end up going down. Still though, Spirit, they'll take that. They got in, they're able to take Arme off the map. Yatoro is able to continue to farm here with the benefit of Collapse and the Empower.
Yep, you're absolutely right. But they did use both the Lycan Form and the boat. And if we think about how LGD wants to play this game, it's important for them to have their cooldowns to get big kills or get big moments. Whilst Team Spirit are happy every time nothing's happening in the game, they feel like they're getting ahead. They feel like they're progressing their game. And that's exactly what's going on now, right? They know there's no Lycan Form, there's no boat, there's no team fight that's going to happen in the next 2 minutes. And they're very happy about that.
Yeah, we're seeing as well Toronto Tokyo able to silently play his game here. He's been getting a lot of space. See already with this time with the first time pick up the Yules. He's already rather hard for PSG LGD to catch. He's got the Javelin on his way towards the Maelstrom. So his game, his farm's certainly going to be picking up pretty soon here. See if PSG LGD are able to find any more action to keep this lead going. Arme in the neighborhood, ready to brawl in the jungle of Spirit. If Spirit give it to them. But so far in this game 5, Spirit, they've returned to sort of that fantastic ability to read the moves and just avoid any sort of engagement that is not preferable for them to be involved in.
Yeah, and I think when you're playing some sort of like Enchantress Skywrath type draft, you want to be getting kills right now. You want to be punishing them. And if you take a look at the graphs, it's been about a 2 to 3k lead for most of the game. They're not really progressing on LGD's side. Yes, they're ahead, but they're not getting more ahead. And with their style of draft, you want to be getting more ahead as the game progresses. So it's looking like that 20-minute timing really is going to be everything for them.
Absolutely, especially now with the Shadow Blade done on Arme. I mean, he is ready to be an incredible killer at this stage, of course. The power of the Tiny, ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I think the two supports from Team Spirit are going to be really, really important for this upcoming team fight. Because if Bane is able to get a grip on the Tiny for long enough for TB to take good positioning and output damage, that might just be enough for them to win the game. If this Tiny goes down, PSG LGD's draft has nothing. It's all about Arme.
This time around, Mirror and Maposhka having collapsed by their side. Arme. He's just got himself Xinkyu behind him. Setting up with the Shadow Blade in preparation to clear out the wave. We'll see if Spirit hang around to try and hunt him down.
Yeah, Maposhka with the read. He does have a sentry. Oof. Looked like he might have ran up with that wave if Arme had just been slightly more patient. So if we take a look at items, you see the Winter Wyvern's building the Blink. He understands one good curse, you know? It's all about getting the one good spell off. So having the positioning, staying back, and then blinking at the right moment, that's going to be what he's going for. And they're giving him space, right? They're letting Maposhka sit down here to try to finish up the Blink. They understand how important this is.
Absolutely. It's going to be huge, these curses, against a lineup where you're running these 3 melee cores that want to be charging in at you. Absolutely possibilities for a huge turnaround Winter's Curse to come out in these team fights.
Yeah, there definitely is. And if you look at Yatoro, he's building up for that Eye of Skadi. He wants to be tanky enough to tank the damage and then potentially get a Sunder off. That's going to be the game for him. If he's able to stand his ground with Skadi and the Tiny initiates on anything but him, he might just be able to be tanky enough to stay alive. The one person who's really not getting any farm in this game right now is Collapse. He's kind of understood that, you know what, I'm just going to get my shard and I'm going to be happy with that. If I can have it by 20 minutes, that's everything I need.
We've seen before from Collapse how much he can get done with limited resources. This man's Magnus, certainly something to be feared. Something that got tripped up in the game, of course, where Xinkyu had the Rubik to deal with it. Something that isn't, of course, here this time round. So a bit more free of a game for Collapse to make his moves occur.
Yeah, I feel like both teams are just waiting for this 20 minutes. I mean, if the pacing keeps going like this, I mean, LGD is going to hit their timing, and then you really got to look at that team fight. The nice thing about having so much time right now is I expect Team Spirit to be really ready for that fight when it comes. But look at this. LGD are going to try to make a move right before it.
Yep. Here they go. Ancient Thunderhide leading the charge. Of course, we'll be spotted out here by Spirit. They'll know that there's likely going to be some action following it.
Great read from Spirit again. And look up top. Yatoro's just farming. 5 heroes committed down here for LGD. But Yatoro has the space that he wants.
Can they get a grab underneath the tier 2 tower? Jinkyu, nothing to say, they're going to try. Collapse, he's going to go with the RP just onto Jinkyu. Drag the Scarab underneath the tower. They will lose the Wyvern in return, but Yatoro's ready to turn up. The grip's there. They've caught nothing to say underneath the tower. Yatoro's bid this off for now, though. Sleight of Fist comes out as they're looking to turn on, and nothing to say. They get him. Jump forward with the Remnant. He's looking for more. Toronto Tokyo in with the chains onto both Y and Arme. Arme goes down. Y and Fabian the last two alive, but not for long. And Shockwave claims the life of the Enchantress. The Spirit, or Collapse, will end up dying here to the Thunderhide of Faith Beyond, but of course that will also get claimed by Yatoro, so more money for them on the defense. An aggressive dive underneath the tier 2 tower, but as we said, the turnaround, it's absolutely there. Yatoro's able to get involved, and PSG LGD, they get punished.
Yeah, beautifully done by Team Spirit. But keep in mind, RP was expended, Metamorphosis was expended, 20-minute timing coming up, and Roshan's available too. So huge rune, arcane rune for Ember. This could be a game-winning rune for him.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think once we see that Lycan form come up, expect them to make some kind of move. Actually, Tiny's missing 1,000 gold for his charge, so probably not going to be able to use his timing. So great fight for Spirit all around. Like, proving that they can kill the Tiny is huge for them.
I mean, Miposhka's maybe even already leading into more action. He's got the Winter's Curse at the ready. Both Toronto, Tokyo, and Collapse up here ready to play around him as well.
Yeah, Faith Beyond's about 1,000 gold away from the Ags.
Collapse, he's got that on toss, he's got that setup. Quick catch and a drag back on as Jinkyu gets him in reach of the rest of the team. They've got to watch out for these pickoffs. This is something that Collapse was tearing them apart with earlier in the series.
Yep, and Collapse has recognized that, you know, the idea from LGD here is to silence him when he blinks into Horn Toss, so he can't get the skewer back. Very similar to how the Rubik functioned in the last game, but this time around they're just going to try to use this silence from Skywrath. So what does he do? He goes for the Sky. Great game understanding from Collapse.
Straight into the pit now as well. Even just with the one member down, with no Sky, no Jinkyu, it's still enough that PSG LGD feel that they cannot take this fight there. Letting this go to Spirit.
I feel like the pacing of the game right now, it really does favor Team Spirit, and they expect LGD to make some kind of move to try to break it up. I think they can't just let them farm out this 5-minute Aegis. Expect something to happen before that. Oh, it's such a calm before the storm kind of moment, I feel like. You see Toronto Tokyo is just slowly farming up his items. I mean, this Ember Spirit's been a beast this event, and he's only 1,000 gold off of his own Aghanims. And then after that comes a shard, and then there's just fire remnants everywhere.
And he hasn't been caught yet this game. 1-0-3. Have struggled to contain Toronto Tokyo in this early stage. He's also going to have that DD rune ready for the next fight. Level 18, he's going to hurt. Some of these heroes on the back line, they're not going to stand much of a chance at all. Jinkyu and Y, they better be pretty scared. Toronto Tokyo making the jump in on them.
Yeah, the positioning of the supports, it's really, I think, the story of this game, because both front lines are so tanky. I don't really think they're going to go down without the assistance of the supports from both sides. So Miposhka and Mira going up against Y and Jinkyu. They both have very, very tough positions to be in. You're going to have Ember remnanting into your backline, chasing the Skywrath, chasing the Enchantress. And at the same time, if Tiny gets on top of you, you're just dead. If he gets eyes on you, you're gone.
And here's that timing. So they've got the Ags ready on Faith Beyond. Ready to make the move here. As you say, they don't want to be held back by the idea that Yatoro's got an Aegis. They want to fight regardless into it.
Yeah, they understand. If we wait too long, then Yatoro's going to be too strong. And here we go.
Here we go, Arme.
Oh, they see him.
Set up for success here. Looking towards Yatoro. And Poshka, Toronto, Tokyo, and Collapse setting up across the cliffside as Y will be the first to get poked upon. See how Team Spirit want to tackle this.
There's a DD on
looking for
Toronto,
options.
Tokyo.
Collapse, he's in, instantly caught out by the Ancient Seal, so no skewer to follow. Y.
Chains, back up.
Is there anything they can do to save their Enchantress? I mean, does Y need saving at all? He's going to need to, as the Nightmare holds him back.
Yeah, Wolf Form both used on Lycan as well as Tiny. So this means full reset. Now, Team Spirit are in control of the pace. They get to decide what happens in this game.
Yeah, they could push Aegis, Metamorphosis, ready for use here. Tier 2s could be on the table for Team Spirit.
Looking for some kind of pickoff. They know LGD can't fight back if they get on top of their heroes right now.
They've got their eyes on mid. Utoro starting to rack up the gold again after the Skadi. 2,800. He's got that butterfly queued up. Knows that they're not going to be wanting to pick up any sort of true strike anytime soon here on the heroes of PSG LGD. The evasion would be huge.
I wonder if it's enough though. I like the idea of the Satanic more. Yeah, he's going for the Satanic. I really like this, because if he can survive the Tiny combo, if he can get through it, you can purge off the silence from the Skywrath, you can get one hit off and then Sunder.
Yeah, the Dispel's beautiful.
I mean, if you're a Team Spirit fan, you're very happy with the pacing of this game. You saw LGD being unable to use their first timing of the game to really do anything. So if this keeps happening like 2-3 more times, then you're in the late game. And boy, are Team Spirit geared up to take that late game.
Ready with the setup top. Back Toronto, Tokyo, Invis Rune. Ready to go. See if he can get a surprise jump onto PSG LGD. Y. He's the closest right now. It's just the two supports playing up here, really. Putting themselves in the most dangerous position whilst the cores are able to farm on the safer side of the map.
I think Team Spirit are going to look for some sort of smoke for this bottom triangle ward. This is a ward that they usually fight around when they have it, so let's see what they do. It looks like they're moving over. Gem on Meposhka. They understand the importance of the vision this game. And there's no Tombstone this time, right? They don't have that kind of teamfight vision tool on Team Spirit as they did, or sorry, on LGD as they did in the previous 2 games. Now they're relying on the wolves. So having the gem secures you that there's no wolves on top of you. They don't see where you're moving. They don't know what's going on. So great item pickup by Meposhka, understanding the importance of it. It's a tense game.
I mean, you know, the Team Spirit's got the solid jump, but PSG LGD, they've got the hard hit. If they can get in with the tiny ball, we're going to see Collapse come in. He's in with the horn toss. He's going to look to separate. Nothing to say for the rest of the team. Fiend's grip as well, locking down the Kunkka. They get a quick grab. Nothing to say. Out for a minute.
10 seconds on the Aegis, and once again the wolf forms are used, but Am is deciding to retreat. They don't see the opening they want. There's no buyback on the Kunkka.
Yeah, it's hard to fight with one of their most farmed cores right now in the game. They need them all up, really, to tackle Team Spirit head on. Bit of timing left on the Metamorphosis, so Team Spirit, they can push on. 26 minutes in, starting to take down this tier 2 tower.
Up top, ooh, quick fingers. Jumped away from the stun of the Tiny.
It's the fortification is soon to be coming to an end. You see Spirit, they're happy to go for the dives behind the towers. Toronto Tokyo is in, and he's found himself Jin Q.
Great recognition there. You know, Tiny initiates on you top. What does that mean? That means there's no heroes mid to fight. Immediately dives in. Wherever the Tiny is not, Team Spirit have massive freedom to make moves. The Tiny, it's really all about this Tiny, and 2 last wolf forms have not gone PSG LGD's way. In fact, the game is slowly swinging into Team Spirit's favor, and they're kind of getting past that impossible timing of fighting this Tiny.
Or Collapse, he's got another grab, jumps in, Y, he's gone.
Yeah, if you're PSG LGD right now, you really got to try to find a way to catch Team Spirit off guard. But they have the gem. They're setting up their vision smartly. They're playing around where they can see the dire heroes. If you look at the minimap, look at where they're positioned. Bottom side of the map, 2 hill wards here to cover any sort of entrance that LGD try to make. So they're always aware of what's going on. Very smart positioning on the map here. Team Spirit recognize that as long as we just delay the game, we don't feed, we don't give away anything for free, we're in a good position. Yatoro will carry us.
It's all right. In position now to maybe push down a threat in another tier 2 tower. We'll see the setup looking for Toronto Tokyo, but again, he senses something's up and they don't get that catch.
Yatoro now beating on the bottom tier 2 tower. Doesn't get any sort of response. Means now they expect most of the LGD heroes to be on the top side of the map.
I mean, they've got Metamorphosis up in 10 seconds. Can they start to poke the high ground, or is... Now, how aggressive do you want to get with these pushes?
It's a scary decision to make. I don't envy carry players that have to make this decision at this position in the game, but...
Are they going to make the call to commit? Metamorphosis is up for Yatoro. How hard does he want to push it into the base of PSG LGD? Doesn't look like they want to.
I think the idea here is to try to force the LGD heroes back into the base so that they then can play around their own wards and then potentially move over to the top side, remove any sort of vision that LGD has, and then get map control that way. And you know, with these illusions, pushing safely, you're forced to respond.
He looks for the jumper collapse. He's not able to get the grab back on Nothing to Say. So Nothing to Say, Beacon is up, a mirror holding him for the logo of the Phoenix gets cancelled by the Avalanche. The Winter's Curse coming to a quick end as PSG LGD now charging on the base. Bo comes crashing down onto Mirror. Ancient Seal for now onto Yatoro. He's looking to back up and reset inside the base. Toronto Tokyo. He's diving in past the tier 3s. He's able to take out Nothing to Say. Looking at Remnant over to the side. He's got his eyes over towards Y. Or maybe even more actually. He's holding on to that, not jumping back quite yet. As they've killed off 2. And with 2 dead, they may just have the room here to push up to the high ground. Yatoro, he's stepping up. Still a bit longer with the Metamorphosis left. They're taking this tier 3 tower. There's going to have to be buybacks. Jinkyu back into the game. But a tier 3 taken here. Some damage being done to the Rex as well. No Kunkka for 40 seconds.
Yeah, and no wolf fight.
Collapse. He finds a grab. Jumps in. Drags back on the Skyrap main. Jinkyu, he's gone for 70. Another man down on PSG LGD. Spirit, they'll keep the push going. And you've got to be careful, you know, Collapse is looking for another one. There it is, he's in, drag back on Y. He just can't stop finding them, Collapse. Every single time, pick off after pick off. You can't stand anywhere near Spirit.
No, you absolutely can't. And Yatoro's recognizing, you know, I don't have meta. I don't have my strongest spell, but neither do they. And he's just pushing it here. I think they're going to keep going for these buildings. They do not seem afraid. There's so much confidence right now in how they're playing. They get the buyback. He's been X-marked, but he has 3,000 HP.
He's so tanky. Sunder, Satanic at the ready if he ever feels threatened.
But look at this. LGD are coming in from behind. They recognize that they can't go on the front line. They need to catch the backline heroes.
They're going to try and go for the easy kill first, or at least the easier, maybe. But no, it's not. TP out there, able to stop it. Arme's in with the combo. They catch the Bane. They need more, though. Nothing to say in the team. Doesn't look like they're going to get it. Meposhka's off into the trees. They won't be able to find him to stop that escape. Team Spirit, they take a Rex, they take a tier 3 in the mid lane. They only end up losing a Bane, pushing them up now to an 8k lead against PSG LGD.
Yep, and once again, both the wolf forms are expended. So you know what that means? Roshan's available. Metamorphosis is ready in 10 seconds. Team Spirit are going to eye it up.
It's going to get even harder to deal with Yatoro now. He's got the full Silver Edge done, so the ability to sort of duck in and out of the fights. He is going to be a right nightmare to deal with. We see Arme's farm not too far behind, but you definitely feel that at the moment, with the timings that they've hit, Spirit as a unit are so much harder to deal with than it is for them to take down PSG LGD.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's reflected in the way that Arme is playing, but he's about to get caught here at the top lane.
There's Collapse, in with the Horn Toss, dropping the RP. The BKB was out in time, he's into the Invis, but the physical, is it going to be enough here from this Terrorblade? Yatoro is focusing down Arme. Arme's trying to run, but he can't get away from him. Arme out for 80. They're ready to chase for more. Collapse, steering in to close the distance onto Jinkyu. They've caught the Skyrap, set up there as well with the curse. They're ready to close up onto Faith Pian as well. They're going for a third kill here. Skewer from Collapse, back into the claws of Spirit.
Team Spirit has lasted through the hardest part of the game. Now, everything is theirs. They just need to play this calmly, don't overextend, recognize that as long as we play around our own timings, this game is firmly in our grip.
I mean, there's 3 dead. There's no buyback. It's only Nothing to Say. And Y left here for the defense. As Team Spirit, they're onto the tier 4s. They've got a fortification, but there's still those long seconds before they get their 2 cores back in the game. PSG LGD.
They're gonna have to try to do something. I don't think they have enough time to wait for Tiny to respawn.
See how carefully Team Spirit play it.
Goes back.
There's still 20 seconds, no Arme. They can push. They can push this Spirit. They don't need her back. 20 seconds without Arme. They're going to look for more grabs before they close it up. Jump ball for Collapse. Jinkyu goes down. Nothing to say as well. HX Point, nothing to say, has a buyback. 8 seconds until Arme with the Ancient. They're looking to close it up.
They're
They can
hitting the
taste
Ancient.
the championship. They can taste the money, but
There's
the
no
backdoor
creeps.
protection
There's
kicks
no
in.
creeps.
The backdoor protection is in. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. PSG LGD, they'll start now to force Spirit back out the base. Miposhka will get himself out with a blink. They just need to reset Spirit.
They're trying to get out. Faith Beyond's on top of Mira, though.
So they've got the curse, holding back the Lycan. Why? Being a bit of a nuisance off to the side. Gets the impetus onto Mira, but why? It's chased down by Collapsing. You saw it, they've got him. Toronto Tokyo, long mana. James holds it back, but now with the BKB armor.
He has buyback, though.
Straight back in with the Remnant. Gets instantly caught out with the Torrent. With the silence as well. Jump forward, collapse. BKB, Stewart back into the clutches of Yatoro. Yatoro,
RP.
they're going to be able to lock him down with the RP. Where's the detection? Where's the detection?
No detection.
They need to see him. They don't get to see him. Arme, he's going to live. He's going to turn towards Mira. He's still very low here. And then a slight change. They get him.
He
They
has
finish him
buyback,
off. Oh, nothing to say.
What a TP.
What a TP. He's
Oh
out. He's
my
alive.
So, no buyback on Toronto Tokyo. No buyback on Faith
Oh,
Beyond.
boy.
No buyback on Ame.
Oh, my goodness.
There is a Roshan.
There is.
Oh, I thought that was going to be it.
I mean, it was so close. But the backdoor protection kicks in. PSG LGD are able to pull together a defense. They lose their tier 4s. But the Ancient still stands.
Yep, Satanic used Sunder as well. You can feel the nerves. I can feel it. It's just so much on the line. Just one Sentry Ward could have won them the game there, but Support's unfortunately not able to get into range.
Let's see what they can do around this pit. They're still down 16k PSG LGD, but they've got all their ults up. Can they make any sort of steal? They've already managed to set up here onto the Kunkka. They're going to go straight to it. Yatoro coming in with the BKB. The curse holds back Arme on the side. Nothing to say. He's going to go down. Out for 110. Yatoro's ready to step over to his next target. He's looking over towards Arme. Collapse. Popping the BKB. And Miposhka keeping himself alive with the cold embrace. Spirit. They'll turn over towards Arme, but Arme's still got the BKB to go. He's killed off another support. He's looking at Toronto Tokyo. Toronto Tokyo by some of the yours. He's got another Remnant. Slight miss into the Remnant up to the high ground. He's away. Both teams again. Yeah, sneaking around under the cover of these silver edges. Watching one another.
Metamorphosis is out, but so is the two wolf forms. So both teams taking it safe right now. But look at why. He's stuck on the cliff.
Why?
Dude, look at how carefully they're playing it. They're scared to walk up here and try to kill him.
Watch like... Oh, they got him.
There we go.
They'll take him off the cliff.
But look at Roche!
Oh,
Armin's killing Roche!
Oh, no, he can't do it, surely. Blink out time, collapse. He's got his eyes on him. Still nothing to say or why for 50 seconds.
Armin's alone.
He's gone in alone. That was a risky move. He's got the back of a Jin-Q. But Spirit, they're going to chase on. Slight chase. Arme is gone. 2 minutes, no Tiny. Ancient exposed. Spirit, they'll make the walk over towards the Ancient.
They're not waiting for the creeps.
They're ready to close it this time. Only 2 left. Can they stop a PSG LGD? I don't think they can. GQ's got it. It's over.
GG.
It's over. GG. They've got it. They have done it. Team Spirit. They come into the grand finals. 2 games straight up. They take away from PSG LGD. Game 3 and Game 4. PSG LGD, they hit back. But the Game 5, even though they get knocked out in 3 and 4, Spirit, they come back with the same skill and ability that's taken them this whole road to the grand finals. And what a road it has been. They take down Fnatic, OG, VP, IG, Secret, and now in a best of 5 at the grand finals, the International 10, they defeat PSG LGD, arguably the favourites coming into the tournament.
Absolutely, and they don't just defeat any PSG LGD. They beat PSG LGD playing their best draft. This was all the heroes that PSG LGD wanted. Like Seb touched on, Lycan, Tiny, they invented this. This was the most dominant combo of this tournament, and they beat it. They figured out how to beat it, and they beat the best team at playing it.
I mean, it's insane as well. 4 of them, their first TI.
That's crazy.
Yatoro, Toronto, Tokyo, Collapse, Spirit, the first time they've been on the TI main stage. Miposhka, he's been in before, but only top 8 this time, leading the boys to the championship title and taking home $18 million in Zania.
It's unbelievable. I know before this tournament I was streaming and people would ask me like, where do you think Team Spirit are going to place? And I honestly said, on a good day, if everything goes our way, maybe top 6. I never saw this coming. Not in a million years. What an unbelievable performance.
What a story, what a road, what a dream here that they've achieved. The Spirit now claim the Aegis. Ladies and gentlemen, your International 10 champions, Team Spirit.
Especially for these fucking guys. Yeah, they came out from home.
Miposhka.
Hello?
Hello, Miposhka. Congratulations on winning the International 10. I must ask, you are the captain of a team who has with 4 players who have never played at a TI. How did your team come together and become so strong?
It's all because of our manager, Korban. He made this team. He invited me and already a good start.
They're about to take some pictures.
But I don't know, it's just because we did a lot of work, hard work. Also, we had a bootcamp before that international, and that was the hardest bootcamp I ever had. So, actually, I don't know. It just happens.
It just happens. He said the manager. He said the boot camp. He said the team. It just happens. Now, you and your teammates are you're so young, and this is only the beginning. What is next for you?
I have no idea, actually. I don't even know what to say. So I have no idea. Maybe we're gonna think about this later, but right now I don't really know what we're gonna do. Maybe when someone will broke. I forgot word.
All right, you are going to come back next year and defend your title, right?
I wanted to say maybe someone gonna leave from Dota. I'm not really thinking. No, I'm not really sure that it's not gonna happen. Because such a big prize. And do you really need to play Dota now after this? So I have no idea I hope you understand me.
Oh, absolutely. There is so much going on right now. You just won a huge tournament, the biggest tournament. So to not know is totally fine. Look at your teammates. They are celebrating right now. Do you have anything that you want to say to your fans?
As I already said, sometimes thanks for your support, every fan who supported us till the tournament. So, a lot of people wrote me a lot of messages that good luck guys, good luck, we believe in you. And thank you for everything, thank you all.
All right, go ahead and celebrate with your team. Once again, everyone, I present to you Team Spirit, your champions of the International 10. And now, back to you.
what a fantastic performance from Team Spirit. They pull through here in this best of 5. They take game 5. That was their 8th game of Dota 2 they played today, by the way, and they crushed it. Also, if you were to look at Team Spirit's team earnings before today, you would have seen that they had, out of their 6 years that they've been around, $500,000 to their name. It upped a little bit. It's already updated. 18 million added to the list, Brian. I mean, this team has been fantastic. They delivered some amazing Dota.
This team was a qualifier team. They were losing 2-1 in a best of 5 to make it to TI in the first place. I had to say that really loud because I don't know how else to portray, like, this is an insane run. They have had so many elimination games throughout the losers bracket, throughout qualifiers, making it 6th at the previous major, I think. I don't even know at this point. It's amazing.
It is amazing. Can you make sense of it all now, Jenkins? Has it clicked?
No, I'm going to try not to scream about it this time. The crowd is already going wild. But also, what a great group of guys to win this. This is so good for the Dota scene. There are so many more tier 2 players out there now that are now inspired to play the game and potentially win a TI. But these guys, you know, we heard the story. They clean up their rooms. They're the nicest guys ever. They're so nice to all the staff or whatever. They anime ran at the major. Like, it's so good for the game that these guys won. You legitimately couldn't write a better storyline than this.
That's just the charm of this team. From the very beginning, they're a group of guys we wanted to root for.
จำตอนที่เจงคินส์บ่นได้ไหมที่บอกว่าทุกคนคิดว่าทีมซีเครตอ่ะก็น่าจะเข้ามารอบชิงมาเจอ LGD ใช่ไหมก็กลายเป็นพลิกโผแล้วเข้ามารอบชิง LGD ก็น่าจะชนะทีมซีเครตไม่ใช่ทีมซีเครตชนะทีมสปิริตสบายๆไม่ว่าจะเป็นซีเครตหรือสปิริตนั่นแหละก็พลิกโผอีกเพราะว่า2เกมแรกคือทีมสปิริตออกนำไปก่อนไม่เป็นเหมือนที่แพทเทิร์นที่มันควรจะเป็นเลยสักอย่างหนึ่งและไม่มีรีเวิร์สสวีปครับผม
They started 0-4 in the groups, and then they just made it. They barely made it to upper bracket. They lose their first game to IG.
ชนะมาเกือบทุกแมตช์อะแล้วมาระเบิดอ้าวไลฟ์ระเบิดด้วยเลยโอ้โหไลฟ์ยังระเบิดอะ
There's something so emotional about watching.
เมื่อกี้มีคนถามใช่ไหมว่าไม่เข้าใจทำไมหมาฟ้าแพ้ก็เมื่อกี้ผมอธิบายไปแล้วว่าไอ้ดับหมาฟ้าเนี่ยมันมีบัฟ30 วิคูลดาวน์80คุณต้องเลี่ยงไฟให้ได้เว้ยคุณจะเห็นว่าช่วงเวลาทามมิ่งไทนี่อ่ะไทนี่มันพีคช่วง Echo Saber ใช่ไหมเรากลับมาหน้านี้สิไทนี่มันพีคช่วง Shadow Blade Echo Saber ตรงเนี้ยเขาพยายามจะหาไฟคุณจะสังเกตว่าเขาพยายามหาไฟกันตลอดประมาณ 3-4 นาทีแต่ทีมสปิริตอ่ะมันเลี่ยงได้ตลอดเลยเพราะดาบของเขามาเล่นช้ากว่าคราวนี้เกมเขาอ่ะเขาจะต้องไม่โดนโถมเพราะฮีโร่ LGD อย่างที่บอกไปที่เซฟบอกก็คือเกมเนี้ยมีโพสการ์ดมันฟรีมันไม่มีฮีโร่ไปล้วงข้างหลังเลยเรื่องแจกแต้มผิดนี่คือน่าจะเป็นดาบแจกนะครับเพราะผมไม่ได้แจกแล้วคราวเนี้ยนี่คือไทมิ่งของ LGD ครับไอเทมหลัก2ชิ้นไทนี่เทมใหญ่มาแล้วนี่คือจังหวะที่เขาจะต้องซัดทำไมทีบีถึงไม่ซื้ออะไรมาล้างใบไม่คิดจะสู้อยู่แล้วเลี่ยงไฟอย่างเดียวเอมเบอร์ซื้อยูเซปเตอร์ถ้าไม่ซื้ออยู่โดนสกายลาดใบโดนสตอมตายก็โดนโถมหลักของเกมดีเฟนส์ยื้อคือห้ามโดนโถมจะต้องไม่ตายดังนั้นปกป้องตัวเองเต็มที่อย่างเนี้ยคือเขารู้ว่าไทนี่มันมีดาเมจที่ลิมิตเว้ยไทนี่มันมีดาเมจที่ลิมิตใช่ไหมฉะนั้นใช้อาร์ฟสกาดิมาไวเพื่อบูสต์เลือดตัวเองไคไทนี่ได้ด้วยแล้วรีบขึ้นสตาร์นิกเลยจะสังเกตว่าบิวไอเทมอ่ะมันจะไม่เหมือนแบบทีบีปกติไม่ใช่แมนต้าไอซื้อ BKB อะไรพวกนี้มันจะเป็นบวก SP หมดเลยพอบวก SP หมดก็คือสบายไม่โดนไทนี่คอมโบตายอย่างที่คุณเห็นแล้วคราวนี้สูตรวิธีการจัดการไทนี่ของทีมสปิริตที่เขาทำมาตั้งแต่รอบก่อนหน้าแล้ววิธีคือ HP เปอร์เซ็นต์เบิร์นไวเวิร์นซึ่งตอนแรกเนี่ย LGD ไม่ได้แบนเพราะ LGD มองว่าเบนคือซับ5ไม่คิดว่าเบนจะเล่นซับ4ในเกมนี้เพราะว่าใน TI ปีนี้มีแค่ VP Virtus Pro เล่นเบนซับ4มันเป็นอะไรที่พิเศษมากไม่มีใครเขาเล่นเบนซับ4กันแต่เหมือนกับว่ามันหลอกดราฟได้ไวเวิร์นเคาน์เตอร์ใช่ไหมไทนี่ถัดมาคุณต้องมีมิดเลนที่เคลื่อนที่ไวเพื่อไม่ให้โดนตีคือแบบพอคุณเจอไทนี่ในไฟอ่ะมันจะต้องเลี่ยงการโดนตีทั้งหมดเลยเว้ยก็คือเอมเบอร์นี่คือผมถึงบอกว่าพอเป็นแมกนัสเอมเบอร์เนี่ยมันคือเข้าสูตรแล้วเหมือนวันนั้นที่ OG โดนเลยเว้ยเอมเบอร์ฟันเช็คเปิดวิชั่นให้กับทีมได้แมกนัสสามารถเลือกตัวลากได้เอมเบอร์มีพุ่งมีฟันซื้อเวลาเพื่อจะไม่ให้ไทนี่แตะได้
I mean, Miposhka, I mean, he had played at TI, but he played, he was top.
แล้วพอคราวนี้ไม่มีฮีโร่ตัวไหนไปจัดการวินเทอร์ไวเวอร์เลยเพราะมันมีแต่ตัววิ่งเข้าไปนะไม่มีตัวดิฟก็นั่นแหละครับ
Especially when you're playing with the stand-in, of course, but he just this is a captain that it's not.
ไวเวอร์เกมนี้คือตาย3 ครั้งเอง1 ครั้งตายเพราะโดนไทนี่มันคอมโบตอนท้ายเกมแค่นั้น
TI finals, here they go, Brian. It's just like that.
We watched them grow throughout the DPC seasons. We mentioned it this entire time, but their identity never changed. It was more like just refining.
มีไทนี่ทำไมไม่ไปเรียกไฟตอนตีบ้านถ้าสมมติไปเรียกไฟตีบ้านใช่ไหมเขามีแมกนัสเขามีวินเทอร์ไวเวิร์นเขาเคาน์เตอร์ทีมไฟได้คือดับเนี่ยมันไม่ใช่ดับทีมไฟเว้ยดับ LGD อ่ะมันเป็นดับที่จะต้องเจอคนและคอมโบฆ่าถ้าคุณไปออทาวเวอร์ปุ๊บใช่ไหมคือคุณต้องสู้กับทีมไฟละพอเป็นทีมไฟปุ๊บเนี่ยลองดูภาพเว้ยไวเวิร์นเคิร์สแมกนัส RP ทีบีเมตาม็อบยิงจากข้างหลังคุณระเบิดเป็นตัด1บีบคอย1ดาบนี้เป็นดาบที่สู้ทีมไฟไม่ได้เลยมีแต่แบบคิดภาพเหมือนทีมซีเคทเลยเว้ยออรวมกันแล้วก็แพ็คเอาทาวเวอร์ถ้าช่วงกลางเกมอะทีมสปิริตพลาดอะ LGD คือขึ้นนำแต่ก็ยังไม่ได้ปิดเกม 100% อยู่ดีนะถึงบอกนะว่าสปิริตมันเชี่ยวชาญในการปราบไทนี่มากเลยเว้ยมันแบบรู้ว่าจะต้องทำยังไงในการเจอเกมไทนี่อะถึงขนาดแบบปล่อยไทนี่ไลแคนขนาดเนี้ย เพราะถ้าไปเลดเกมมันทีบีกินอยู่แล้วไทนี่สเลเยอร์ใช่ครับสกาลาดเขาหยิบมาเหมือนเอามาดักพวกฮีโร่สปิริตอะรอดักเลยมันก็ต้องเล่นสปิริตอยู่แล้วล่ะผมให้แมตช์เนี้ยที่แบบชนะเลยคือทีมสปิริตทำการบ้านมาดีมากเรื่องไทนี่เนี่ยเกม3เกม4มันดูเป๋มากๆเลยเว้ยเพราะว่า LGD เล่นอะไรที่พวกเขาคาดเดาไม่ได้แต่พอแบบพวกเขาอ่ะบังคับให้ LGD มันเล่นไทนี่ได้แม่งคือแบบยาพิษเลยอ่ะมันคือแบบนี่กูซ้อมมาเว้ยกูเตรียมพร้อมมาเยอะมากกูเตรียมพร้อมมาเพื่อสิ่งนี้มากๆแล้วมันก็ทำได้ไปตามนั้นแหละโอเคช่องหลักเขาหมดแล้วเพราะเดี๋ยวเขามีไอเลดไนท์แบบคุยหลัง TI อะไรเงี้ยนะทุกวันอยู่แล้วนะครับก็หมดแล้วนะสำหรับ TI 10 ปีนี้นะครับก็ขอบคุณทุกคนมากเลยนะที่อยู่กันมาตลอดทุกๆวันนะครับไม่ว่าจะเป็นขาจรไม่ว่าจะเป็นขาประจำนะครับก็ขอบคุณมากนี่ตี 1เลยเนี่ยผมพูดเลยว่าปีนี้ก็คือไม่อึดเท่าปีที่แล้วจริงๆส่วนTI รอบชิงปีนี้ผมว่าพากได้ไม่ดีเท่าปีที่แล้วหรืออาจจะเป็นเพราะว่าเกมมันตึงๆก็ไม่รู้แต่ผมรู้สึกว่าที่แน่ๆคือผมล้าผมถึงบอกว่าถ้าไปปีหน้าผมคงจะไม่จัดเต็ม 100% แล้วก็คือแบบบางคู่เราต้องตัดถึงแม้ว่าทุกคู่มันจะรู้สึกว่าน่าดูก็เถอะนะเมื่อกี้ก็คนดู 26,000 นั่นแหละครับปีนี้ก็คนดูเพิ่มขึ้นประมาณ 2-2.5 เท่าเลยนะก็ไม่ว่าจะเป็นขาประจำขาจรอะไรก็ขอบคุณมากจริงๆแล้วอันนี้เป็นช่วงคุยก่อนจะปิดละมีรายการไหนอีกไหมรายการก่อนจะปิดไม่ใช่รายการก่อนจะปิดรายการหลังจากนี้จะเป็นทัวร์ทีมชาติครับผมทัวร์ทีมชาติผมผิดหวังไหมก็ไม่ผิดหวังเท่าไหร่เพราะสุดท้ายแล้วผมไม่ได้แคร์ว่าใครชนะผมแค่ชอบดู LGD เพราะแม่งสนุกแค่นั้นแหละถ้าถามว่าผิดหวังไหมก็คงจะแบบว่าเองมีแผนตั้งเยอะแต่เองมาตกม้าตายกับการหยิบไทนี่ไลแคนประมาณนั้น แต่คือโดตาครับชนะครั้งหนึ่งก็ไม่ได้หมายความว่าจะชนะตลอดไปแพ้ครั้งหนึ่งไม่ได้หมายความว่าจะแพ้ตลอดไปแต่มันคือแมตช์สำคัญแค่นั้นแหละสิ่งหนึ่งที่ผมรู้สึกว่า TI อะนะผมเคยพูดตลอดใช่ไหมว่า TI อะมันเป็นทัวร์นาเมนต์ที่